1869. It was originally the home of a Baptist minister named Reverend Henderson, photographed there on the wall. Reverend Henderson was a very close friend of the Bells and suggested they move to this area when they emigrated to Canada. But by 1877, Alexander had given his father 75% of the Canadian patent for the telephone, and Melville convinced his friend Reverend Henderson that there might be some money to be made in this new telephone company. So they opened the first business office right here in the front room of Reverend Henderson's home.
So this is the first Bell business office, 1877.
Excuse me. Have a good day. Thank you. So from this room, people rented their telephones and paid their telephone bills up until 1880 when the company formed as a public corporation. So the phones that you see in the room are typical of the first year or so that the telephone was in commercial use. Wooden box sets as well as the handset on the far right.
This one here?
No, right up on top of the desk there.
Oh, okay.
There's two wooden box sets, and on the far right is a handset, which is also a hand telephone.
Okay. Interesting. Another beautiful stove. Okay.
And then moving down the hall, you'll find yourself in a 1930s telephone exchange.
Oh, wow.
By that point in time, people commonly had phones in their homes, but you were still connected to your local exchange when you wished to make a phone call. Or through one of these switchboards.
Yeah. And somebody would sit there and manually connect your call.
The operators generally work 8-hour shifts, and we're spending most of that time connecting calls between parties, both within the community and on long distance.
And long distance, could you make a call at that time to Europe, for example? Would that be feasible, or was that not an option?
No, they were able to do transatlantic calls, but it took a long time to connect. So it wasn't something that was instantaneous like we're used to.
And we have a phone on the wall here.
That is a 1907 phone, but that's very typical of what was being used with these exchanges. Where you rang the operator by cranking the magneto.
So you'd speak in here and listen at this?
No, these phones had both transmitter and receiver.
Oh, so here you speak and there you listen.
And that's the transmitter there.
Oh, cool. Excellent.
And then in the back room, you'll see how the telephone has evolved essentially since Mr. Bell developed it, right to where landline technology is today.
Okay. Let's have a look in here. Oh yeah, we've got pink telephones and red telephones. That looks, 1983, I still remember that phone. I think I have one at home actually.
I know, I think I do too.
Here's a Bell telephone, Model 2500 pink. That's amazing. 1910, nickel-plated daffodil. 1924, dial introduced. So does that mean you're now dialing your own calls, or how did you do it before?
You could with those phones, yes. Now, not everybody was on the dial lines yet. It took a lot of years before people were off the old exchanges and everyone was using dialing systems. But they first did introduce them in 1924.
Okay. Here's 1900, common battery wall telephone. Here's a big contraption. What is this here? 1890. So they got consecutively smaller, obviously.
Yes.
This is the long-distance magneto telephone. Can you imagine having one of these things? 1927. That's kind of cool. And this is 1878. Who is Cyril Duquet?
Mr. Duquet developed this telephone, which the Bell Company purchased the patent rights for and utilized as well.
Okay, so they had two different models for sale.
Oh, yes.
Okay, great. What do we have here? This looks like what?
These are typical telephone cables of the early 20th century.
Wow.
Before fiber optic.
1915 right here. This is 1900. Telephone cable 1909. Those are thick cables. Wow.
Yeah, each one of those copper lines is a separate telephone line.
Oh, I see. That's how it would work. So in a transatlantic line, basically, you would have like a massive telephone pipe, wouldn't you?
Well, to a certain extent. You would use basically one line to connect to the transatlantic cable.
Okay.
We're also able to use wireless eventually as well. So,
oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thanks to Mr. Marconi.
And obviously some pictures here. Dominion Telegraph
These are
Company.
depicting the three tests of the telephone that took place here in 1876.
Oh, okay. Very cool. And this is the Dominion Telegraph Company office in Robert White's boot and shoe store in Paris, Ontario.
So
little village we're going to visit later today. So Paris was part of the whole development of the telephone as well. And in here we must have an operator.
This is an 1890s exchange.
Oh, okay.
Earlier switchboards.
Wow. Amazing. And another lovely stove here in the corner. Great, excellent. Do we have anything in here?
This is a telephone booth of the 1900 vintage.
Wow, a telephone booth. Wow, that's very spacious.
They were commonly wooden structures. Often you'd find them in other buildings, banks and hotels and so on. Some of them were quite elaborate, especially the ones in hotels.
Would they be coin operated like they were today, or
No, you'd have a person standing out in front of the booth taking your money to use the phone.
Okay.
They didn't have the coin operated system.
Yeah. Oh, so here we have a coin operated one. From when is this here? The payphone, 1961. Yeah.
That one's an early model that
Okay.
actually came out of one of the last hotels in downtown Brantford.
Oh yeah.
In
Great.
the 1970s. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.